Everybody ready? I'm gonna call the meeting to order. All right, so I'm gonna roll call, if everybody could just. Oh, Marco, he's here.
I'm nice and from school. Dr. B, that's fine.
Okay.
Colin Beck is here. Kevin Monty.
Stephanie Hill, Julie McFadden, Tyler Viola, Nikki Patton, and online we have Ty Voda. Okay. Well, that's it.
I'm here.
Hey, Mike.
Hey guys, how you doing? A little under the weather, so I don't want to pass it to anybody else. I'll just call in today.
Meeting is probably noticed, wasn't it? It was, you'll probably notice. Do you have any owners comments tonight? Oh, we don't. Okay. Have a motion to adopt the agenda. Oh, motion.
Second.
You want to adopt it with revision?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So we have, actually 3 representatives from different organizations that are here. So I thought we would try to start with them first, so they're in and out, not everybody talk with all of us. So, we have Ken Zambio with the Southern Marathon, Alexis Mann with yoga, and then we have Ryan Clark with RC Fit. So I was thinking if we can put them up as A, B, and C.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, our motion that we go to D, E, and F of the agenda of.
I'll second.
Place to be.
Okay, so who motion that?
Yeah.
That was Jill, you second. I would vote. Okay, so all in favor? Aye. Okay, so we'll start with RC Fit. All right.
Oh, I really just want to check on her dog.
No, she's at, T, yeah, so T is RC Fit.
Oh, we wrote it down.
That's a couple good.
He's getting another.
So we brought Ryan back here because I know at the last meeting, we tabled that discussion, to revisit this in August. So I just wanted to see how you guys felt now that we have a full house here tonight, about personal training at the gym. Whether that's one gym, both gyms. I know I was just telling the ladies, I was recently at Arts Park Clubhouse at Liberty State, and I noticed that they also do personal training at their gym. Yes, a little bit different. Less residents compared to the whole community. So I just wanted to hear your feedback on one-on-one training. What's the volume? What's the volume? So Ryan, you're literally just doing one training session. How many times a week are you looking?
Yeah, it'll be for each time I'm in the gym, it'll be with one client at a time. I mean, for the week, it'll probably be something like maybe 4 sessions, 5 sessions for each day, Monday through Friday. And typically it's spread out. So sometimes it could be a couple sessions in the morning, some in the afternoon. So it wouldn't be like I'm in the gym all day, but it just depends on what the residents are looking for.
So what we can do, yeah, it does sound like a lot.
Well, it depends also, of course, on the whole.
Correct, yes. What you can do is, I know we have issues with prime time hours, right?
I just want to say that.
We can look at Ryan just to get started, just to get your foot through the door about potentially just doing like maybe the 12 to 4 time slot where it's not as busy. And just so we can start that way and have like a month or 2 trial period to see how well that goes. And then if it goes well enough, we can expand that past the prime or into the prime time hours. Does that make sense?
I mean, I think that should be, I think it should be fine. That's fine with me. Even though I don't think it'll be an issue if you guys want to think about even opening up a little bit more. Because it just depends on the clients. Some clients might want to work out. Let's say I'm even in the gym at a prime time hour. It wouldn't really affect any of the residents who are in the gym working out, because I would just be right next to that one resident. But I think for a starting point, if that's the best way, I'll be willing to do it that way from like a 12 to 4.
We have any data on what like the actual front time hours are, like checking and tapping out?
So that's, yeah, with the ladies at the front desk.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
So it is a possibility to check on cars to be at each location, but I'm thinking about like the 6 a.m. to at least 11 a.m. time frame. Again, gyms are a little bit different than the tennis courts. I'm just kind of thinking on the similar to work on workout before work as well as after work.
And I have village that's the prime. I can't even get in there if I wanted to.
So
Is the new, phase 2 gonna have fitness center?
it's gonna be a small gym. It's like Spring Lake. I want to say between Spring Lake and Island Village, so it's a little bit bigger than Spring Lake, but definitely smaller than phase 1.
My recommendation is that when we put in writing, make sure that this is for partner programs, not open for any other coaches or people coming from outside celebration to do one-to-one practice. But for celebration partner programs, and
So he'll become,
he has to let Parks and Rec knows what time they're gonna use the gym.
So I like that, but this cause you're saying, so Ryan is a partner program.
Yes.
He is already a partner program, he does our CK over in North Village. This is just to expand his program into the gyms. Because I know, correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, you used to use like other, like condos or apartment complexes, their gyms, and now you're having residents ask about the community gyms, correct?
Yes, because let's say I have a client who lives in Island Village or Spring Lake. A lot of times it's a convenience thing. So if a resident live in that area and I'm trying to get them to another gym, sometimes that resident might decline working with me because they rather work out in a gym that's closer to them.
so will he have a set gym that he'll be able
I'm
to
just
work
going
out?
to say, good.
So we have
One
the
gym.
gym now, so that's up to the committee, or do you want to start like baby steps with this, or 2 gyms, 12 to 4?
I think fundamentally we should ask the question, right? And I assume he's, I don't know if he's paying us, and I assume that he's gonna be insured, but the question is, if I'm a resident here and I wanna work out with an insured trainer who's going to pay the requisite fees, should I have the right to do that with Ryan or somebody else who comes through? And anybody who's qualified, right? I mean, this is the same thing as the baby auto question, right? Like if I'm a resident and I want to have someone do one-on-one instruction with me in the pool or in the gym, is that something that you can do, right? Or is that only if it's a partner program and we're only going to select one partner program and we are sort of the people who are saying, you work with this person or you don't use the gym or you don't use the pool?
So we have been working on with one program. So you have partner programs right now in the audience. So if you decided to say, we're gonna open it up, it's Wild West, so why do these people have contracts with us if we're allowed programs?
And partner programs have a lot of documents behind the scenes that we send, like personal background check. Had to be licensed to be there, no option, equipment and everything. So it's good to be a partner program because they care about the clients. I'm a partner program as well, so I'm glad when I send all documents to Nikki because we care.
Anyone going to RCK is going to be a resident.
Correct, so this would be similar.
Yeah, I know 100%. I'm saying
No.
for a resident, it has to be a resident, right? There's no
yeah.
non-residents, but then let's say someone prefers a female trainer. Are they allowed to bring a female trainer? Or are we just saying I guess, are we proving him that he's one person who has the right to do this? Anybody who wants to work out with an instructor at one of the gyms needs to go through him.
So our partner programs exclusive, like CBOC, but there's only one for each.
That's what we're trying to, yes.
That's my question.
Correct, yes, so we used to have 2 separate software programs and it caused ruckus. So that's why we're only partnering with one program at a time.
I think we've had someone does prefer to work with a female for whatever reason.
Well, then that would be Ryan as well.
Then that, yeah.
Yes. But at the same time, if he doesn't want to expand his business, if we have the right to tell him to expand his business to include a female, or be saying to people who prefer that can't happen.
That's like going to a department store and say, I only want to work with one male or female only. It just doesn't work that way. That's
Yes.
their employees.
I understand what you're saying, but that's also, you can go to any department store, you can rotate. We're saying this is the only department store you can shop at. If you don't have what I like.
Then you
I'm
go
not
somewhere
for or
else.
against that.
No.
Genuinely just-
I know
That's the question.
exactly what
No,
we're coming from.
I get it, but that's his problem. He wants to hire someone.
Unless what you did is, Brian, don't hate me for this, but you had one approved personal trainer as a male and one approved for a female.
That works with RCP.
Or
Yeah,
you're
I
saying
mean-
that.
I mean, I think that could be something that could be revisited, but I think that would kind of change things for all programs if we have to say every program have to match, you know, add in more trainers or coaches to their business to match every single need. I think that would be a difficult one to say. I think for me, the challenging position is it's hard to say no trainer could use a gym. I'm a partner program, not using a gym. And you could go to the gym at different times. You might see a trainer using it, where I'm the approved partner program who is not able to use the gym. So I think that's where the challenge comes in. So I think it'll be the best thing to do is to have an approved partner program who could be the trainer versus having random trainers trying to use a gym.
Oh, definitely agree.
That would be like swim, but like, if you say,
Right, yeah, that's the thing that's happening with being a umpire, right? It's like,
So it's
This is a question start, so do we, corporate settings, do an RFP for anyone who wants to apply to be a partner program, even if we have a partner program? With someone, so, or is it that you get in and therefore, and further, or is it like once again, but like, do we?
So we can review, there has been good leverage out, but we usually tell them we're in a partnership until this date. But you can submit your proposal, and if the committee decides they wish to do an RFP,
Yeah.
that actually is a recommendation that has to go to the board level. So we were not allowed to do our own RFPs, it has to be approved by the board.
Just was a more of a curiosity.
That could be something you have to say,
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and then are on the same.
They used to be all separate, but now they're all independent. That's the whole unless they were given 3-month trial periods.
Okay.
So let's just.
Maybe we get more data as well. I like to get your recommended. Find out how the jobs are being earned, what the times are, both both your recommendation. For the start, time frame.
Gents or one gym?
So, okay, so everyone's good with the 12 and 4.
yes.
Okay, so we're good with the 12 and 4. Do you want to start off with one gym, like Spring Lake? It's a little bit smaller, see how that works.
I
And
say yes.
expand.
I say yes.
I know it's rough, Brian, but I also want to make sure we don't go too extreme and get shut down. Okay, thank you. And we get shut down and we're not doing this anymore, you know what I mean? So I'd rather kind of go with,
Work
this
out the
is,
kinks.
we're trying our best to make this work.
so why would we put them in a bigger gym than a small gym? It's more,
Well, I think, Salmon Village is a little bit more popular.
I was gonna say, which gym is busy? Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to say which gym is busy, especially in the community gyms, because it just depends on the time of the year. I think if the option is opened up to approve me to use both Spring Lake and Island Village, I could look at the busy times, because let's say there's a time of the year where Island Village is more busy. I could bring clients to Spring Lake. So I think having the flexibility to bounce in between the gyms, just celebration facilities in general, I think having that availability would be the best, so I could kind of gauge it on where to bring the clients.
December 31st. For 3 months, all right, that's,
So we could do something like what we did with the dog park with Park Bus, where they had to submit who was coming before
Yes.
came initially, so that you would at least be able to say, okay, well, we know the gym is gonna be super busy, go use this one instead. That might,
And I was kind of like, I thought we were like making the same Wi-Fi connection as well, because I thought you were gonna say when the dog park was closed like Tuesdays and Thursdays, you would say maybe Spring Lake. And Monday,
Yeah.
Wednesdays, and Fridays,
I can go with
so
that.
as residents like are aware. Right, that can help accommodate being able to use both gyms.
yeah, so then you could do both, but alternate.
I think that's a great
And they
idea.
have to be, just like the bar bus, and I brought that up, they have to have a waiver signed, Ryan. So when you submit your roster, I need to know the exact names, because if they don't have a waiver signed at town hall, they should not be in that gym for liability reasons.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
All right, so we got the 12 to 4 only residents partner program.
So
3 days a week, 3 days, yeah, so track, 3 days a week at Spring Lake and 2 days a week at Island Village for a 3-month trial.
I think that would be a good trial period and give you some good data on, how it's working out and whether or not it's, annoying people or not annoying people, or how many people are as well. I try to be positive. So,
Everybody has a right to use it.
So it's 5 days a week, it's not including weekends.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Okay, so how about we make a motion? The 12 to 4, only residents, 3 days a week at Spring Lake, 2 days a week at Island Village for a 3-month travel.
I will motion that.
Second,
Also,
All in favor? Does anyone oppose? Alright, right, so what we'll do is, this is a recommendation for a 3-month trial period, which means I still have to bring this to the board for their blessing. So just so you're aware, so I'm gonna keep you on track with this process, but at least that way the board will be made aware, and I can get the signage up in time to notify the residents that they'll be in the gym 3 days a week at Spring Lake, 2 days a week at Island Village.
Okay, that works.
Thank you again, Rick, I appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much.
thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yes. And the celebration national.
So Ken, has been doing this for 14 years, right?
This will be year 14.
You're 14,
We kind of count the COVID year in a virtual,
yeah,
so.
there you go, still counts.
That's okay.
But we're looking at, it's always the last Sunday, in January. We've been, like an in-kind sponsor, so we usually give them the equipment and the facilities. And, their organization just pays for staff time, it's such a good setup. I think just with the staff time cost itself, can justify, it's roughly between, like, it could be between $3,000 to $4,000 to get some staff time. I think it's a great benefit, especially for us to be a sponsor and a sponsor, which show the community that's one of our cornerstones that we're trying to partner and give back. So they do a great job, as far as the event, we want to continue with that partnership.
So now we go straight to motion.
It's the same term.
It's the same term, same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
I'll second.
So all in favor? All right, you're good, Ken?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right, next, we got Alexis. So Alexis, did her 3-month yoga with us. And as far as the numbers, she's been doing really good just on the Great Lawn. So for June, we had 35 participants, and July 34 participants, just gonna yoga on some days a month. As far as your yoga, because this would be until December 31st, because we're trying to just get you in like everybody else as a full year. Is there anything you want to add or expand to yoga?
I think we could. Do I have the capacity to do that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But there's definitely an excitement in the community about it, and I've been very surprised
with the turnout. There's been a lot, and we've had mostly residents. So it's been great. I think eventually, yes, we want to expand it because and maybe even do like more events with the town. That would be nice. But weekly, I think that Sunday is a sweet spot. Right now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, as far as management, we love to move forward with this partnership, until December 31st, so that way it can be renewed for every program for a whole year.
On the promotion.
That question though, I mean, to go back to my earlier sort of point that I'm trying to make. I mean, we have this other proposal for pumped up sculpt class, right? So is that the same thing as what you're doing? Or
No, so
we're saying it's different, but like, do you feel that's the same as what you're doing?
No, I don't know too much about pumped up sculpt,
Okay.
but I will say there's no other person that can take my place.
100%. If you want to be pumped up sculpt, is that your territory? If we're deciding, if we are in the position that people have territory, is this elected
So
territory?
I reached out to Erica
Okay.
and I said, now, is this related to Zumba or yoga at all? Because that would be a compliment for, she stated it was.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't.
want people taking your turf.
I got you. I don't know too much about pumped up sculpt. I mean, mine it is definitely a fusion class of Pilates and yoga. So it does have sculpt, but that's really getting down to the nitty gritty. But honestly, like at the end of the day, if it's gonna bring something more to the community, like I'm all for it. And people are still gonna come to my class because of personality at the end of the day. It's really a great class. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Territory.
You're great to go. So great.
I'm grateful. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
This is also, you know.
And they're being different locations. So
Different locations.
you do yours on the Great Lawn, right?
Yes, yeah.
So, I mean, as long as they're not in the same spot.
And
Yeah, it gives people options.
Yeah, it's not on like the same day and stuff. Shoot, they would have it separately.
Correct, yes,
Yeah.
it would not be.
We can also talk about show and just remove yoga and Zumba from there.
no, that's her background. That's what she's taught at.
Yeah, but
Right, so
they
that's
want
why
to
I
be-
asked her, did she do anything yoga related or Zumba for this course? And the sculpt is nothing related.
It's bands, cardio, and gliders. That's what she's taught yoga and Pilates before, so that's her background, but a lot of this space often can look like.
It's like cross training. I know when I taught Zumba too, and I had to have certain other training too, just to have the knowledge, so that nobody's gonna get hurt. But you only teach certain stuff.
And she'll be on the call a little bit later, so that way you'll answer this question.
Stephanie,
I have a motion for.
I'll second.
who said?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Right, well, it takes you're good to go, all set, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take it. 3 items, go back into the first one. So for item A, that's now D. To review rec partner program outdoor instructor identification. So at the last meeting, we kind of had like a pickle where we went back and forth. And it got to the point, we weren't getting any scores, so that's why we tabled it and brought it to this meeting. I know we also have Kelly here too. If you heard it last month as well, right?
Yes, well, and I think I missed owner's comments because I power walked here from swim practice.
Yes.
But I had something that I wanted to kind of bring before the committee as well. So whenever we have a chance, you guys know.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why you can't present it now.
Okay, so I don't know if, can I just present from here and just tell you?
That's fine.
Okay, so, through partnerships that I have with USA Swimming, US Masters Swimming, there is an opportunity for a contractor to come to Celebration, and survey and give a full workup of our pools, of Lakeside and Spring Park. These individuals were responsible for building the Olympic time trials pool in Indianapolis. So I have them, they are already scheduled to be in Orlando because it's the World Clinic for the American Swim Coaches Association. It's being hosted at the Rosen. So while they're in town for that, they have allocated 2 hours of their time, roughly 1 hour at each pool, to walk the pool, to look at everything. I mean, full scope. And they have offered it at a very reasonable fee of $1,600, $1,800 per pool. And that is normally the fee is much higher than that. This is only being offered to us because of my attendance at the USA Swimming Build a Pool conference 2 years ago. I was sponsored by Florida Swimming to go. And also some other partnerships, the American Swim Coaches Association, several organizations that our team is a part of. I don't know, I'm not sure where it stands. I know they put it out to bid to have Lakeside resurfaced again this winter. But I would just ask, our team is willing to pay the fee if we could ask for 2 months, which isn't even, it actually works out, I think, $18 in the town's favor, for 2 months of fee waivers for our team. And we would be willing to, have these, and have them walk the properties and give us, and it's just like, they're gonna give us a list of the good, bad, the indifferent. I mean, just a neutral party. But they are professionals, like world-class professionals in their field. So I just wanted to bring that forward as an opportunity.
I think it sounds like a good idea. What I would suggest is that you send us some type proposal,
Absolutely.
and then we can make a formal decision.
Okay,
Can you like detail it out, if this is how much it costs,
Absolutely.
if this is why? like-
absolutely. I can have that to you this evening. I actually, I already have something typed up, but I wanted to kind of come and explain it before I sent it because it needed a little bit of an introduction.
Would that be the book management?
So it would go to pro board, is any fee waivers for that part of the program, it starts at the rec committee level and we give a recommendation.
So if we bypass that and just send it right to the Crow board, so the ultimate.
Yes, they do
really
it,
should
like
review it to see what.
So here's what we do. Here's what we do. Kelly, when you're all done with your proposal, send it on to me. I'll send it to you all via email. And then review it via email. If you do wish to bypass it, I can at least send it to my board.
Okay.
I can
Or-
or
Fee waiver or credit, but however you want to phrase it, but essentially they're asking for $800 a pool. That's roughly what we pay per month. So we're asking for 2 months of waiver and in exchange, we will, because if management tries to speak with them, it's not gonna be the same situation or opportunity, if that makes sense.
Yeah, as long as we can get.
Okay, so I'll get that to you the next few days. Thank you.
Addition of pool.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, but like, what specifically?
Well, can you speak to that, Kelly?
Say it again.
She wants to know,
So
what
they
love looking for.
So when I went to this conference, I have a network of contractors that do every single thing that you can do, that you need to build a pool. From the heating system to, they will look at everything. Heating systems, backstroke flags, restrooms, ADA compliance. And it's not like an I got you list. That's what's nice about it. They're not coming in to like shut us down or anything like that. They're coming in to be helpful. They're coming in to say, make recommendations. But they'll look at everything. The team that these people, this team built an Olympic, they actually helped build the pool in Paris too, they just had the Olympics at. So this is like the top pool builders for USA Swimming. Honestly, it's a huge opportunity for our town to have this level of expertise come and look at our facilities. But they will literally look at everything, the tile work, the pool resurfacing, the heaters, the filtration systems. They'll look at and the pool decking, like every single thing that there is at an aquatic center. And natatorium is actually the proper word, a natatorium or an aquatic center. They will survey everything.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like an evaluation.
Yeah, are they gonna evaluate us about being a community pool, or are they gonna evaluate us against like the Olympic pool?
So
Is that a standard?
Yes, correct.
I don't know.
Yeah, more of like safety, what needs. to be
Correct,
safe.
correct. And they work with schools, I mean, they work with people across the country, doing this and they work with all different contractors. They have it's such a large network. So, it's the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance Association. They're the leaders of that. And then the American Swim Coaches Association, which I know this all means gibberish to y'all, but in swim coach world, these are like the big organizations that run USA Swimming behind the scenes.
I mean, I don't have any idea. I've never been in any. 20 years, so.
It might be helpful when you get a sample report. Or-
Yes, well, I'm gonna send that to Nikki tonight.
Team. Would have this done every 2 years and the year of the.
So that will be with our operations director, so let's plan also follow over if I'm not gonna make so yeah, feel free to send.
And I will say this too, depending on the needs, they also sometimes provide grants to help communities get done. So, I mean, our team was a recipient of one of those grants through Rowdy Gaines, who's an Olympic swimmer this summer, which is how we launched our largest swim program this summer. So it's an opportunity on many levels for the community and for our program, to be honest, which is why I'm here representing the team, asking you guys.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we appreciate it. We look forward to receiving that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, Joe.
And now we move on to structure registration.
Yes, so at the last meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just here as a program partner. So listening.
Sorry.
Anything helpful that I might need to know about the program. We're glad to have you. So I'm B, and I'm the director of Celebration Lifelong Learning.
Okay.
So, 50 people. I but we're excited to sign our contract but we're trying to do our due diligence and make sure we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's. And
Thank you.
I do have a question, but and I don't know if this group could help me or not in it.
If you wanna ask it, if you're comfortable.
Maybe, we are, we've been asked by town hall for our staff, our working staff. I'm the only real working staff, paid staff member. But our other working volunteers were to do level 2 background checks. And I don't need to be dumb here. I mean, I've coached at the high school, but I know cows, I have an originating authorization number from the agency that's requesting it. But we don't have an ORI number. How do I go about getting a background check with no originating number? I can do a lot of research. I might be able to do it through the kind of random shit or so.
So, no, this is the committee talking.
Okay.
Actually, that's
That's something on the agenda.
But just so you're aware, I'm working for it with the attorneys. We do have a program called Logistics for our volunteers. So anyone who volunteers with us in Celebration Town Hall and the events,
Right.
Logistics will run a level 2 background check. And it's $30 only to run this background check. However, we're partnered with them. So Lauren's trying to figure out if that's a liability or not, because if we get the green light, at least we can offer it to our recreational partner programs to at least cover the costs of that background check, and that would be on file with us. So we're trying to work to make it a little bit cheaper, because I know they range between 100, 250, talking to different programs,
I mean, it would be our entire budget.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you have a lot, and I don't mean to throw you on the spot, but Marco, I know you have a lot of, people in your group. What do you guys use? What program?
Majority of us use the Orlando City.
Okay.
And then sending back the level 2. But I will ask Daniel to send us a link of the use in the past so we can share.
Yeah.
With the, he texted me today, we talked a little bit. she doesn't have keys, doesn't have any youth.
Yeah.
Those groups, so it will be, when she comes today to explain. If it doesn't even work with kids, or maybe you can have a different level of background check. But this idea is great. If you have paid, if you have to pay $30, how the product are paying for it, that would be very much.
Because if we can keep the cost great, but every time we add like over 50 people, this will just, it gets pricier and pricier and pricier. So even though we're paying for the background check, Pro is gonna be responsible for paying for a larger amount per month or per year. So at least if we cover the background check.
That's why we just want to do this strategically and think really, how deep do you want to go into my program? Right. I mean, obviously, I'm the one dealing with money, absolutely get it. I know that, but my 80-year-old who teaches gingerbread house making to other, 70, really, am I gonna have to send her down to get fingerprinted at the sheriff's department? And there's level 1 too. I mean,
Yeah, and that's why it'd be great to do like the logistics, because all they do is fill out their information online.
Mhm.
And then we just receive a green light. And if we don't receive anything, they're the ones reaching out to that person. We don't see the results. We just see, hey, they're green, or they're just not able to.
And it's not just like what Oasis does.
The Oasis.
It's like, I was gonna say, it just get like when I was a, parent helper in the classroom, I just gave my name and they ran my social
And then they
security.
ran it, yeah.
That would make more sense.
So that'd be a little bit easier to do,
Because we're kind of in between two, we're not quite Department of Education and we're not Department of Elder Affairs either. So we're not doing any services for people. We're just
Right,
just kind of people coming and learning about hobbies and and history.
yeah, right.
Okay.
So no, we're gonna go dive deep into it, and, item J.
So I'll just relax.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Keep back. So, we are, the review rec parks program outdoor instructor identification.
Yes, back to the top.
So this was discussed last month a little bit, and we tabled it to rediscuss this, for August. So kind of like what Brian was saying, and Ellie said it last month, and says it all the time, it's like, well, you're telling me I have to pay and I have to submit background check or information, but there's instructors coming in and out of these gyms, on the tennis courts. How can we identify who is a partner program? So who isn't a partner program, residents can at least contact us and we can remove them from the courts or the pool, etc. We dealt with that with Baby Otter Swim School. Unfortunately, they weren't supposed to be there at first, but it gets confusing because Kelly doesn't want a bad rep to her name, or if someone's teaching tennis, Darren doesn't want a bad reputation for his program as well, because people will assume they belong. So we were trying to figure out what's the best way, and I guess like without spending too much money on PROA's, on our PROA dues on how to identify these instructors or partner programs. So we were thinking potentially maybe like an armband that has like the Celebration logo that makes us approved instructor. We were thinking about t-shirts, but I know t-shirts for tennis, if you need like 4 or 5.
You're doing the card. That's who they have card.
Yep.
And I'm thinking exactly at the airport.
Yes,
It's like,
that's what we were thinking.
Or you
Honestly,
put out
honestly.
a thing on their
Badge like they have one right now.
Yeah.
you have their badge, it has to face out, and it's have it be a bright color that everyone.
What
can
about,
see it.
It's just a real thing.
Yeah, but you could have your
Like
guarantee card.
their leaders in there.
Yep.
They
what
don't-
about we pay for the cards that we do here without any access? So we pay for the card and each coach has to provide his name over that, his PROA logo, and somebody has to just show the card with his name.
So,
Yeah,
so the problem is they want,
Yeah, they need a band of some sort.
Yeah.
It's-
We want to be able to.
Yeah, but the fact that the shirt doesn't mean that you have full partner
You know,
programs.
the person giving the lesson is an approved instructor. We don't want to have to ask, well, do you have ID? Because they're.
I just want to be able to see it.
And soccer, actually, we have the, dress code, to put like different badges on the codes. So it's a little weird, maybe a cap or, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard.
Because what we can do is like, since they're partners, we can say like, hey, you get two, like, we'll provide the two bands complimentary, but if you need more, because if there's more coaches, you have to pay like whatever the cost it is to make the bands, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that way, so if you're like Jill, you're walking around, you go, wait, I'm gonna see that person, band, call us. Please say, hey, where's your band? You're supposed to have a band, you want to show like identification, if you don't have it, you cannot be on property.
And I'm sure if
They're-
they're having another committee,
Yeah,
then the cost will be phenomenal. Just runs into, what about, just say the swim? Do they have things that are waterproof? Would that be?
right, no, that's true. I mean, we could look at that one, I would probably.
Strap it to your.
Yeah.
Strap it to the.
Travis, yeah, like
To some sort of.
Yeah, the rash part,
It's going to make them.
Well, what if you just pull up every week?
Yeah.
it's like,
They make reusable zip patches, so tie to a chair.
Something, something like this. Something like this, is what, something bright,
It's like, yeah,
not green, not red,
And
that
that's-
color's like a roof. Yeah, it's gonna be, that can hold your. You don't need to see the town.
I like the idea to have the plastic ID so we can hang up with it.
well,
We can put the hangers, maybe like, or
Yeah.
hang over here. for-
Well, that's what's showing right there, Marco, your eye distance into it. It's kind of like, a line you put on your arm.
Yeah, it's totally, and it's an arm.
I think that's a great idea.
We'll just go with that.
Without it being, without it being. Big deal, like a whole costume.
Otherwise, they have to have the ID to get.
Oh, absolutely. You have to have one of the tests. You have to have the identity.
Yeah, it's just not like, oh, you can wear a purple band, let's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, like tennis, there's like about 6 to 8 instructors, swimming, I would say maybe.
So you start out with two and then anything over, we'll give you the initial two and anything more than that.
Yes,
Would you also have part of this for, if someone has a room like this? Prior to that.
Not for the room, it's more of if they're using like an amenity.
Yeah,
That's
outside.
what I was thinking specifically for their instance, where they have rooms.
Oh, it's 20 for $23.
Sure.
And all the partner programs, the park bus and all of the other.
So, because we get to.
Yeah,
Yeah, also the tractors are not interchangeable, because you're not gonna just hand that off. That's,
Right, right.
you're gonna have to designate first.
The other Park Plus, I know they're also dealing with people bringing their own, like dogs, like people bring their own dog and say they're theirs, but they're watching on.
Yeah.
So it does get frustrating to be a partner program. Where you're following the rules, you're paying fees, or.
Oh, absolutely. I would be upset too.
So that's something, if we can get a motion in a second, that's something we can start that process on. And then
What do
we'll
you want the
follow up.
motion to be?
So
Right on, identification check.
Yeah, I think it's the partner programs, the identification. And we're gonna start the trial of the armbands, revisit this.
So you wanna add the caveat first one? Just thinking for their situation where they're gonna be having the classroom situation, like their spaces.
we can just say the external or the.
I think it only needs to be if the space, if you, like Marco doesn't need it. No one's like, he doesn't,
It's more.
he's the only one allowed to talk, you know what I mean, like, but if it, it's really just tennis and swimming, and I don't think it has to be.
And the gym.
Well, then like tennis and swimming,
Yeah.
yeah, so you have some more. I mean, you could just say where,
It's all for you, right? So it is more than just.
I think the verbiage communal base, that's something,
Yeah.
it just seems silly to give them a bunch of.
Right.
Each of their.
That's, yeah, I would not do it for indoors, because you have to.
I would just say, the outdoor amenities that have.
No, I don't. Communal spaces. Perfect. It's general enough, doesn't have to go get specific.
All communal.
Yeah.
If other people can be their way, they're too, perfect.
I think what's more important is not that they have the band, but the more important part is like, what do we do if someone's not the band? Like right now, do they just call you or like?
So they just give us a call and
They just
we'll
call.
ask, we will
Yeah.
explain how to be a partner. Unfortunately, we're in a partnership with someone, so you cannot be here on property. we'll just give them my preferences of go elsewhere outside of, South Beach.
Do
And
we
it's
have
amazing,
a-
because it says it on all signs.
And
I was gonna
it's in
say-
the magazine too.
It says it on all the signs that
People will get away with what they do.
Do we have signage though in all of these outdoor communal spaces where they could be, so that if a resident is like, hey, do they log, they have a number that they can call? Cause I don't know the emergency, the after hours number offhand, you know what I mean, like,
Yeah, it's
it's like, I'm just asking.
No, you're
if
right.
it's in-
Yeah, I'll follow up with, because this will obviously be like a 30-day period to notify them, like, hey, this is coming. So everyone's on that and stuff. So we'll start with the facility has that number.
Signed with the dog park and signed with the tennis court that, hey, you see somebody, should the.
Yes.
Well, it also will help with the instructors, I'll just form them.
Well, yeah,
So they can call, hey, you're teaching and they can help us monitor.
Absolutely, I just want to make sure that the number to call is available.
Yeah.
Cause, we don't,
Yeah, that's easy.
just make sure it's time to do that.
Okay, so we're gonna make a motion to institute some type of instructor ID in all communal areas. You want to be more specific than that? Okay, so do I hear a motion? Okay. Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No, that's nothing.
Good way.
Okay. Four more items and then we're to you.
Sound good. Thank you.
All right, so
Now we're in the rec committee meeting of July 13th. I was just saying meeting minutes, sorry. I was like, that's what you just say, yeah, meeting minutes. All right, since I bring a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of July 13th.
I'll motion.
Also.
all in favor?
Favor.
Let me get a text. Excuse me. Can't vote.
Okay, so we're done. So as far as Parks and Rec update goes, summer breakup finished, as you're aware, because if you're in school, we'll say that was a very successful summer. So we're excited to start planning on December this year to get ready for next year. That'll also be 8 weeks next year. We have our partner programs returning to town hall. We actually have a program with us. These programs returning very soon. Spark Grounds is returning here, Zumba, Irish dance, etc. So now having these rooms have benefit our partners, so they're not using Jones room, they have a larger space, which is great. We had an event on Saturday called Last Splash Before Class Pool Party. That was very successful. We had 150 residents total attend. We had our recreational partner programs inside Heritage Hall. So it gave an opportunity to meet the recreational partners. It was nice for the, at least this was our first time trying it, but I think next time they'll probably put it in town hall, so it's a larger turnout of the clubs as well. And I also did not put two and two together, Georgia was cold and going into Heritage. So we had, a lot of like sweeping going on. I think when my team members would probably be in the Olympics for it, so, it was a good event, Marco was there as well. Overall, it was pretty good to see all the partners there, so I did appreciate that. We're working with IT, the IT department to print 3D items, so like arts and crafts moving forward, so for like kids and outs, for resident only events, we're trying to do like more 3D printed. Our first trial period was the flamingos.
I was gonna say, I definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're trying to get some more 3D printed items. I know they're working very hard on the surprise for Founder's Day for residents only on November 5th. And they're starting now, because that's how long these are taking. So we're excited for it. It's a pretty cool thing. Coming up this month, National Popsicle Day on August 26th. So we're getting out complimentary popsicles. I know the flyer may be misleading. It's not like the Ninja Turtle one or the SpongeBob. It's literally one of those like popsicle, like the sticks, the ices. I think I get that from Sam's Club. But they'll be at a couple different locations, Mount Park, I think it was Spring Park, etc. So just be on the lookout. we have a flyer posted about that. And then we just opened, our registrations for both Kids Night Out, which is a nineties theme. Normally Kids Night Out is about like $45, 20 for additional, but this time since it's nineties, we thought we'd go retro. And for the first time, we do $30 and 15 for kids, just to see if you got one Christmas that way. And then Fortune Yard Sale just opened as well. So, if you want to be on the map, you can be placed on the map. If you have a house, it's not required to pay to be on the map, but it just kind of showcases, and we have arrows that give kids fit this way. And then if you're in a townhome condo apartment, we'll have tables at Lakeside Park. And that's on October 3rd.
And to be clear, those tables at Lakeside Park are only if you're selling items.
Only if you're selling items, that's correct.
As opposed to,
As opposed to, I want to set up a table and somebody posted it today.
here's my woodworking business or.
No, somebody posted today, that they want, oh, maybe you should get a table at the Fortune Yard Sale, and we're gonna get a table set up Veterans Day. Yeah, set the table up for Veterans Day, so somebody said, well, maybe at the Fortune Yard Sale, so it's gotta be very clear to the people when they apply, and you give the $10, it's if you're selling, but you can't sell where you live.
The people from the townhomes and the apartments, they're still free to put it.
Yeah,
Well, maybe not the ones on the boulevard, I don't think feel about it, but.
As they wish, like in front,
Yeah.
but as far as the apartments, we just tell them to work with the management company.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
I know the ones by us, you just put it out on the street.
Yeah.
And nobody's got a problem.
There's people that come from out of Granite, they go across the street and Corpus Christi set up.
So, and no signage anymore, right?
That
No
is,
line with signs.
that's as of right now, that would not occur for story. But that has to go to the board.
Okay, so we gotta,
Yeah, so the signs and over, if there's any changes, that would be the spring.
that's it.
Okay. So.
Pumped up?
Yep. Yep, hey, Erica. If you are ready, the committee is ready for you, if you don't mind unmuted.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, would you like me to turn my camera on? I can do that too if you want, or
That is up to you, whatever. you're
Okay, I'll-
comfortable with, so you're good.
I'll turn my camera on. Hi, thank you so much, first off, for just allowing me to pop on this evening and giving me this opportunity to talk. A bit about me. My name is Erica, and I'm performing at Disney, but I am at heart. I've been teaching fitness for like the last 10-ish years. I majored in human biology, and then I knew I wanted to do something with the body. And so I've been certified in Pilates, yoga, sculpt, bar. I coach at Solid Core, and I was coaching a ton in New York City before I moved to Florida last summer. And I've just really enjoyed being able to do other outside classes around Kissimmee area, as well as coaching. And I would love to offer doing a community class in the area. I've done a lot of different events for sororities, for women's organizations, and for other big events for people, bachelorettes, with putting the community together, teaching a class, Pumped Up Sculpt, which is a mix, I would say, between like sculpt strength and a little bit of cardio burst in between. So it has principles of Pilates, but it's not Pilates because I teach classical Pilates as well. And that's very different. It's accessible for all different ages, all different levels of fitness. I always offer amplifications and modifications. I love to bring equipment like gliders and bands as well to offer people an opportunity to extra amplify or challenge themselves. And I just think it's a great way. I know that I've had a hard time myself kind of finding that outlet of a community of fitness, health, and wellness in the area around Kissimmee Celebration area. And so I feel like this would be a really awesome way to bring people together and to connect through movement. Yeah.
Very impressive background.
What?
You have very impressive background.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
So, so Erica, as far as your proposal, because I know you said you're open to any outdoor space.
Yes.
Are you trying to do this as a reoccurring or just a one-time offering?
I would love to offer a reoccurring offering if that is possible to do with what you have available, or if you think it would be a good fit. I would be open to doing something reoccurring, whether it's monthly or however often per month. And as far as outdoor space, yes, I'm open to any outdoor space that is available, that a lawn, anything that people can lay out their mat on or a towel and just have accessible space to move.
She wants to do this for free.
Well, that's why it shows your proposed pricing for celebration resident and non-resident. So you want to offer these classes for free, or would you be interested in charging? Because if it's a monthly thing, I'm just curious.
I mean, I would be willing to offer the classes I put for free on there. I don't know how the other fitness instructors that have been offering classes there, if they charge people, but I'm really open to just offering it for free as a place for people to come, both resident and non-resident.
Yep. So
So how long is the class?
So Erica, how long?
Yes, the class is 45 minutes. 45 or 60 minutes, 45 though, I would say 45 to 50 minutes.
And you provide all the equipment, like talking about lighters and fans and things like that, or do people need to provide it?
They need to bring a mat themselves.
They would need to bring a mat themselves, a mat or a towel, but I have bands and gliders.
Yes, so with our programs, we would require you to have your certificate of insurance, for liability. But as far as this, what we could do is we do this for all of our programs, just so you're aware, but we do a 3-month trial period. So if this is more of if you want to do something complimentary, this may sound more towards like a club where it just seems like some people can get together, meet, hang out. If you wanted to charge, with our partner programs as a starting point, it would be $208 a month.
Okay, for me to pay you to do.
If you wanted to charge, just kind of mentally prepare, the rent would be like a starting point is $208. So if you did this as a club, if you started that way and it's complimentary, we would not take any money from you because you're providing a service for us complimentary for the residents.
I see. Okay. I think that would probably be, to start out to try it in that way and then like kind of bring people in and place it as like an opportunity, like a club and a social area for people to come together to be.
Club still needs insurance though, right?
Yeah, club, yeah.
What if it was a CROA sponsored event and she was like a vendor and then she worked off our insurance? Is that a possibility?
So what kind of event, or like
I mean, if you was like
we are with health and fitness.
it was like
Yeah,
this month we're doing CROA is doing a health and fitness from whatever event. And we're bringing her on as an expert instructor out of the goodness of her heart.
Like the home ec-
Then would she be on our insurance?
Yes. So, as far as vendors coming on property, we usually still get a copy of
I
it.
guess you still would.
I was gonna say, I would-
Because I'm just saying it's your event, but you would still as the instructor.
Yeah, we do have like, for some vendors, I know for like Pups and Pints, it's like they can sign like that form. And it's basically, stating like, if something happens on property, you're not covered for it, you know what I mean? So, but I would recommend you get a certificate of insurance, because all of our clubs as well as partners do have that on file.
If it's a club, would it be open to non-residents as well? It's only residents.
So if it's a club, it would have to be 75% has to be celebrating residents. So, what you would also do, Erica, is you would have to create a roster. So if everyone shows up, you just have like a piece of paper that just says their name and R for resident and R for non-resident.
Got it.
And then today I would just ask for, usually with clubs, it's like a quarterly roster. Partner programs have to submit a monthly roster. But at least we would check in, see how you're doing. And if it's under that 75% residents, because we want to make sure the clubs, if you're getting complimentary space, it's more residents using it over non-residents. Does that make sense?
Yes,
And you
yes.
entitled to some indoor space as a club as well.
That's correct. Yep.
You would be entitled to 2 hours of indoor space a month.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Is it possible to get Erica on board for the health and wellness?
That's
To generate, talk about it. Erica, do you think you might be available for something like what is it? Let's see what the date is.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm open. I would love to. Let me know when the date is or anything like that. Yeah.
It's gonna be September 19th. That's a Saturday. We're doing a health and wellness expo. It's usually, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I should be available
Okay.
Saturday. Yeah, especially if it's in the morning, earlier in the day.
Yeah, it'd be like between 9 to 1 p.m.
Yes, that would work for me.
That would generate some buzz for you too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'd
You-
love to attend that.
Do you already have any interest in this, or is it just something you're kind of looking for if people been like, hey, I kind of want to do this?
I do have an interest in people that have been asking me to do something like this since I came to Orlando, and I coach outside of other studios at Solid Core, and I know a lot of people that like live near the Celebration area or in Celebration that would love to come, as well as other people that work at Disney too that live in Celebration.
And then just confirm, I know you already told me an email, but just confirm for the committee, this is nothing related to do with Zumba or yoga.
No.
And then to go back to an earlier conversation we had, is the end goal here to get personal training, like referrals? Is that sort of like what it is, or this is just because?
No, I think it's more like for me, like I personally, like I'm very much into like my goal. So I did a master's in broadcast. I really want to combine health and wellness and like write for health and wellness as well too. And I just think that for me personally, like I've noticed how much community, especially moving from like New York to somewhere new and trying to make friends and in a community is so important, and how fitness and movement can kind of bring that together, as well as really just giving people an opportunity, because not all people have, like access to go to like a private trainer, or also just access in the area in general for like studios or workout opportunities, and to be in a class setting. And I think would be a wonderful opportunity to be able to like share that. I enjoy coaching. I enjoy meeting people. And so it's not really a personal, like, yes, I'd love to make connections, but it's no means like I'd be trying to make money off of it or anything like that.
Earlier, right? If you do that, you have to come and get it for, you got to figure that out, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, from being a club to being a partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean.
And I think you're fully free to do personal training, not on road runs. You want to do that?
What?
Okay.
Erica's functioning as a personal trainer. She's more functioning as an.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I just wanted to make that, I'm off on a tangent a little bit, but.
Okay, so. Let's make a motion to approve Erica
As a club.
as
As a club, yeah.
a club.
What's the club gonna be called? Erica, do you have a name for your club that you're interested in yet, or?
That is a good question. I actually have been kind of going back and forth with some names just in general for like my own situation, but I tend to like lean towards the things like Get Up and Glow, but Erica or Health and Wellness with Erica or Fitness. Does that name need to be decided now for that club?
No, I'm moving on the globe one.
How about sculpt?
Okay. I mean, I'm open to anything too. So
I was thinking back when Mark was out here, you were
Name
right.
to be determined.
okay.
Oh, sorry. Margaret was asking, are you a resident?
I am not a resident in Celebration. I'm in Kissimmee.
I think it's still fine if it's more
Yeah.
resident, yeah.
Yeah, we have partners, that are not.
Yeah, just, Erica, just remember, it. It's gonna be a club, and it needs to be 75% residents.
Celebration. Yeah.
I'll motion to approve pending.
Okay, enjoy your second.
Sorry, the dog is barking.
Second, Jill. You're now a club.
All right, you were officially a plug. Erica, congratulations. I'll
thank you
read
guys so
you the next day or two just to kind of go over the steps with you. But we're excited to have you as a club here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm very excited. And yes, thank you so much. And I can't wait to move forward and make this club happen. So thank you. Thank you. Have a nice night. Bye.
You too. Thanks. Mike, I'm seeing. So, Mike has been doing flag football with us, adult flag football. He would like to do a fall season as well, so I had Mike, attend this meeting, just in case you all had any questions, concerns with the adult.
This is at
The east, east
Yeah,
lawn.
yeah.
And you're still looking at doing Saturdays or
Sunday, the ideal for the fall,
Okay.
in the morning.
Or 1 o'clock, right?
Well, hopefully we add 2 more teams with 10 to 2. So they'll miss the first hour of football.
So this would be Sunday morning,
Yes, ma'am.
the people that live there know this.
Yeah, do you want to just give like, you've been doing this for a bit.
Yep.
How has the reaction of residents over at East Lawn? this year?
So the first time we set up, we had a gentleman who spoke to us about something, and then by the end of the day, when I had a conversation with him, he ended up giving us water, and like everybody's very friendly. I don't allow music, so I tell everybody when they're pulling in, no music in their cars, and if I hear somebody with music, I yell at them immediately. I personally don't like music being played because I film all the games, and I like to kind of focus on setting everything up. So I have a tent for all my equipment. The goal with my leagues, I've been doing basketball for 5 years now. Up to 104 players in that league, 13 different teams. And the slogan for the league is to make amateurs feel like pros. So they come in, they get the jersey with their name on it, they have a full uniform, their families come and watch the games every week. So it's a nice community that we have. Obviously, attendance for basketball, because we're in the AC, is way better. Football, not as many families come out to watch, but it's still a decent amount of people that come out. They support their family, they support their kids, they bring their kids. So the community had no issues. There was no complaints on my end, and I've done it 2 seasons now. So to me, I don't think we've had an issue. And if there is any kind of issue, we speak to them, but we make sure we clean up as soon as we're done. We make sure we're not too loud. I try my best to keep the profanity down in the sports, but I tell everybody, hey, calm yourselves down. It's not that important directly. So we have a very good community, and I'm fortunate that it's just a nice group of guys.
How many people are playing?
So I would like to move to 8 teams. We had 6, and it's 9 players per team, so it'd be 72 on any given Sunday.
We have all organized direct that we do. And the parking spot for this side is doing a great job with the roading, holding up the it's not easy to take care of all the others, but at the end of the day, he had a lot of compliments and he did a good job with the flag football as well. Thank you.
for meeting residents, what they want, they want to have, they want to have community.
Right, so make a motion to approve.
I'll motion.
Second.
I'll say.
Yeah. Fine. You're good to go?
Thank you. Is there any way to help bring in more residents? Because I know that last season, it was a concern that we were in like probably a 40 percentile of residents compared to non-residents, because a lot of my guys from my basketball league, whatnot, want to be a part of it. I didn't really know a way to promote it to the residents very well. I posted it in the back porch. I posted it in like there's a Celebration Young Adults page. I tried to post it in a handful of different pages, and I got a handful of residents. Is there any other outlets that maybe?
Yes, so we'll put you in the Friday Flash. So if you have your flyer ready to go,
Yes,
we'll put you in the Friday Flash. And I can also put you in the magazine.
Okay, thank you.
And that way it may have, it's I'll see if I can get you in September, if not, definitely October. But to help push, maybe you could do like a discount rate for residents, so like $10 off for residents, or I'm not sure what the plan is again, but just maybe doing a discount. And we could potentially, like, we were talking about the Health Wellness Expo, September
I was just about
19th.
to say the same thing.
Potentially have a spot there,
It's a Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah.
Saturdays work for.
It's around, it's 9 to noon, or 9 to 1. September 19th,
Yeah,
yes.
very lovely.
At Lakeside, so maybe we can have you have a tent and help like showcase, hey, you know, if you're interested as a resident or a non-resident.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Spot for you. So
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we appreciate that you're trying to reach out to residents, but I think with your group in particular, we understand that the demographic might not be the best fit. We're all old and, but for the people who are still young and spry in town, I think provide a good option. So I think as long as you are doing everything and reaching out, I think that.
Yes, you take a look at it later.
I'm not thinking I'm racist and like either, so.
There's been a lot of injuries the older that we've gotten. My crew has gotten old as well.
Yeah, but there are young people in here, right? I think maybe not enough to do 18, so.
I would say posting to like some of the Belmar and some of the newer apartment buildings.
That's a good
A lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah, that's good.
Disney employees,
Okay.
or they're in Disney adjacent jobs. And so they tend to be in their 20s.
Another like you should talk to Mike for the fact for you.
Okay.
And you talk to Mike, the parents play with you. If you can combine the parents, so kids can watch the adults playing.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And play this way, that way, for a lot of parents over there.
That's a really good idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You have Mike's
Just
number?
trying to, yeah, I'll send you over, Mike Fernandez, on October 17th, he's trying to do like a showcase, the NFL showcase, so that can also be another opportunity, that's Saturday. To see if like maybe you can even come out with like even a few team members, you know what I mean, just to like meet them. But he also does it, he's doing a spring season as well, so it'd be cool if you're able to do a spring as well, and like Marco said, kind of have it like on similar days, so the kids are playing as well as the adults.
Sounds good.
Probably want people up.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Have a
again.
great evening, everybody.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Gonna review.
Do anything that showcases the clubs and the events, like I'm just thinking,
I don't think we have.
So,
Like a plus, like
Yeah.
something.
something to know, because we have so many people who come or, you come to get their ID when you move in. So that's.
That
what I've
is-
been trying.
That is orientation.
yes, so a couple things have been like going on now that it's over so much free time right now. So we were thinking about doing like that last splash. I was trying to just big step to be like, but we wanted to expand it, maybe even twice a year, because we were trying to do like an orientation, like when you go to college, it's every club is there, or sports team, so you feel like, oh, it's the first week of school, I can sign up for something.
It was almost like they had it at the K-8. The K-8 had an open house last week. Yeah, everybody set up out there.
Yeah, couldn't we do something like that on the line for all of the?
That's like, I was thinking of these.
And that's.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Because I keep seeing people post about, or I know that
They don't want to know.
they want to know what's going on, or is there already a club that's something that I'm interested? Seem to be people really into board game.
There is a club.
Group, and that's gonna work out really popular. That could become, but if we know what we want, source and see if there's more opportunities.
So right now they have a survey posted, and it's kind of like a we're all here survey, but with the event side, so.
I clicked in to take it, because I saw
Yes.
it, probably like one of two people.
Yeah, I was saying that.
It was on the Friday Live. Yeah, Friday Live, and I clicked in. I looked at the number of questions, like whoever did craft it, if the number of questions is good. I know I did fill out and submit.
So, yeah, they were good. So we did it for the event side, yeah, but I'm gonna see how that does for the next month or two, and then we're gonna do recreational side. And what do you wanna see, what do you wanna see differently?
And
So-
know what we can do and what we can't do. Like there are certain places, spaces until we have something else built. We don't love the idea, but it's implemented stuff.
Of course, yes, And at the end of the day, I mean, sometimes we have ideas in our head as management, but it may not be what the residents want. I didn't realize how popular that pool party was on Saturdays. A lot of people were like, this is what I like, this is smaller events. Like,
Yeah, there were 3,000.
There was.
The smaller events are nice, like, those are the ones that I.
Yeah, so we wanna try to do like other ones, like maybe Jill, like a dog pool day, we're trying to do stuff. So we're just trying to figure out like something completely
Even though I
different.
don't have a dog anymore.
Yeah, but at least it's to kind of showcase like different things, but as far as other clubs in town, if they're not approved clubs, which means they came in front of you all, that's why they're not on the website. So if you all know some clubs in town that are like, I'm trying to get it word out, we can put them on the celebration website if they get approved as a club.
Like that, the key.
Yeah, like we're
going
That could be, but we have a great space here twice a month that's not. Don't have to rotate homes, more people will come probably if it's in a. Space.
That's right. And our focus with club
I
wise.
think there's a diner or something, but I told that guy to apply, but I think they're.
I did the same thing, president of Group Online, with the celebration women and.
Yeah.
You thought that's, sure, and I'm like, yeah, why is it club? It would be great.
Yeah, this, now that we have town hall back, our main focus with the rec partners have been surprisingly Island Village Square Grounds, Heritage Hall, as well as town hall. So Jones Room has been sitting there like open with availability, so we're trying to put like a location where clubs go, it's where programs go, you know.
That would be a perfect place for the, like, 4G.
Yes, yeah.
There's parking, there's, yeah.
Yeah.
We can go back there as what.
We actually have a meeting with
Okay.
tomorrow.
I was like,
Do you have the
Very
guy
much
to go
for
for
work
games?
The bingo.
Oh, they don't, I bet you have to go,
They kept hearing.
No, the other bingo group, we measured like both of these rooms, and I think we can actually fit.
Oh, the bingo, they used to be here.
Yeah.
Are they gonna bring food in like they used to, hot dogs and stuff?
That's something we definitely gotta talk about. Yeah, something's changed.
Yes, next
Yeah.
brand building things too. Sorry, not distract.
Is there like, I know this probably, it probably is there like a list of all of our official clubs?
Yeah, I can share the. Sorry.
Because I don't know, like, who's what, yeah.
Yeah,
Especially because I'm new on the committee, so I'm just kind of.
so that's the list that Jeanette shared. I don't know if you got that.
We
list.
need an updated one for, because we have community connections in the beginning of October. So
Yeah.
we need an updated one.
Yeah, I wasn't on that thing
Yeah,
yet.
I'd like to know that too, I don't know.
Yeah, so I'll send you all a list, and then when it's like, what is it, new home?
Actually,
Oh, you also do it, so Jeanette does it for new home.
Right, and then we do Jeanette with the foundation.
How much we eliminated, what did eliminated in the book?
So,
The lights on the
Like for me.
I just wanted to do one this year, we're doing it in November.
I know that there's already been a lot of my street, but they can go from house to house. I won't do as much as some of my, yes.
Jill's gonna do one.
No, you're not. I have too many things going on.
I'll be
With
away.
calendar conflicts.
I'm on your goes.
I would like to be for this.
You sit on the tight.
I'm inviting everybody. Victoria will.
I'll stay on that, I'll be happy then.
Yeah. Well, then he's got first choice, so not.
Let's go away.
So, disciplinary actions.
Yes, disciplinary actions. All right, we had little chats about the disciplinary, obviously we need something. So we were thinking, first, I'm just gonna call it an offense or infraction, whatever you want to call it. GM will notify them. Would you? No, town hall.
Just on my.
Nate, you will tell them. And then second infraction, they will be brought in front of the rec committee. Third infraction, have to appear before the COA board, and basically you're out. 3 strikes.
That's correct.
No hanging on court square.
So they don't appear before the board,
That's the extension.
would the committee make a recommendation to the board to say?
Yes,
Here's the-
Yeah, so
So
the
we're
third
going to
one,
confirm that they've been in, they had.
yeah,
two
so
cycles.
we would say here's the date, kind of like it started,
Yeah.
because if you had a first, like, a verbal written up. So we would give the board that document, but I would obviously bring to the committee saying, hey, this is their third offense, this was their first, second date, this is the third one. And then you would all say, okay, this is going to the board. It would go on to a public board meeting that would say motion to terminate their contract.
So this would be, it's not the committee having an opinion of what constitutes a requirement disciplinary action, it would just be us confirming.
Confirming with the code of conduct, they all
They've already
received.
signed.
It's violations.
Here's the violations, there's the second, we're validating those 2. Essentially they're on notice, and then the third is dismissal.
Correct.
Okay.
There a time frame for the
Usually it should be, it should be, should be ongoing, like it doesn't reset.
Yeah, it doesn't,
At least in some world, it doesn't reset.
Yeah, I was gonna say, shouldn't, make it, if it resets yearly, then.
Yeah,
No, I was saying. But you can really chat for this.
No, it's
You have
ongoing.
3 offenses in 5 years or something. We're talking about the speed program that should be respectful as well, and also what the other the 2 programs, you know,
I'm sorry, can I make a comment? I don't know if you guys can hear me okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, I think I've been through this before with other associations, not me personally, but just part of associations, and enforcing and like taking people out and punishing them in a sense. It sounds good, but really it's very hard to enforce, because if you're a resident, and I have a coach out there with the Ryan was talking about in the beginning, there's really no way unless you have a person there every single time enforcing it, because then you're going to have residents going in there and complain about other residents that they don't like, or for whatever various reasons. You can't put the enforcement in the hands of any residents in the association, only people in authority of like for instance, the security team, which would be really expensive to do. I think one of the things we can still, I still agree we should have like an infraction list and, tier it up and third infraction. But really, I think a better way would be to, if you have a trainer or someone doing something business wise on the facilities, trespass those people. Just trespass them off the property. If they're residents, becomes a little bit more complicated. But if they're not, just trespass them, because then it becomes an inconvenience for people to do that without going through the board and getting approval for training or using our facilities.
This, if we're thinking of partner programs and clubs, is it
I'm sorry?
so if this is for partner programs and clubs, right? So it's.
Who have signed the
Who have signed the code of conduct. I mean.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I got you. I apologize. It's hard to hear. I was thinking we're talking about enforcement of so you're saying with the partner programs or clubs, if they break the rules, you give them 3 warnings in a sense, or 3.
Right.
Yeah.
We know you've signed a code of conduct.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought it was something else.
No, the code of conduct does not get 3 chances. I would think it would be at management and the board's discretion versus it being percolating like an inappropriate interaction here, calling up your staff or misusing the equipment. Yeah. You sign
Okay, yes. Something that's tangible.
Because I would say that should just become part of your renewal and part of your application, because you are signing that you're not, that you're going to behave a certain way and interact with the community. And I don't know whether 3 strikes and you're out is the right move when you have signed a document that says you will adhere to our standards. And I don't remember, I'm sorry, I don't remember. I probably can bring it up, because I remember everything I signed.
what if the person
infraction with management's discretion, give you a verbal warning where you go to the committee. And the committee would make a recommendation at 2. You have to come to the committee and we decide on a
And make
recommendation.
it 2 strikes.
Because if it's like, I mean, yes, the code of conduct is law, like can't do this, but there's obviously severity levels of everything. And if you guys are like, you did something wrong, but it wasn't that big of a deal, hey, don't do it.
Yeah.
And you mean, if it was like, hey, they did something really bad, then yes, bring them here, we'll make a recommendation. So like, first strike, your discretion of, it's okay, it's not okay. It also, I feel like, would depend on how long that part of that program has been in, it's an isolated incident,
Right.
blah, 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 but.
But if there's a pattern, you're
Right.
looking at a pattern. That's where it becomes that it's not, you technically do have something to sign.
Right, that's what I said,
And-
at second minimum, we make a recommendation to terminate it or not. The first
Yeah,
one
that's
is,
so
you
bad
think
with,
it's
Well,
severe.
I can understand like where you're holding off
Yeah.
because, for example, one of our teams, their coach, like they oversee everything, but they weren't at the field that day. And there was an altercation between a parent and an actual like volunteer coach getting into it. So I told them, you have to remove that coach. They're not allowed to come back, but I'm like, but I don't want to punish the whole program, if that makes sense, because everybody else would respect the rules except one coach. So I think it's like a case by case situation.
In that situation, I would say though, you need to confirm that you have spoken to all of your coaches that you have, and that this, yes, it's an isolated incident. But our expectation is that now they've all been educated, that this is explicitly how you're gonna interact or not. And therefore, it does come up a year of, that's part of their ongoing training.
Correct, yes, yep.
And would you think it would be a good idea, even on a case by case, or maybe you just bring them all at once and say, this is what we expect, this is what's gonna happen if this.
So what
I think it's a bad idea to memorialize anything regarding this. Like, it's, everybody needs to be treated differently, the situations are differently, and then as soon as you memorialize, if there's an expectation, and even probably a legal requirement for you to follow that, right? And you're not gonna treat, Marco, if one of his soccer persons does something wrong and gets a strike, and then they get another strike a week later, if you said you have a 2-strike policy, then you've got to recommend him for termination, and that's probably a problem because, for better or worse, Marco's program has 300 residents who are going to be very mad if you terminate it versus, I forget what her name, Erica was, if she does something on her first thing and has 6 attendees, then it's probably much easier to just say, this isn't working out, sorry. So it's going to be very different situations depending on everything. So I don't think to codify it does not make any sense.
So we had a similar thing on the dog, right, like with the dog park usage, where we had, here's the rules of the dog park, if your dog does this, if your dog does that, and if you as the owner don't take responsibility, then these are your actions, these are consequences. And they would be brought to us at the committee where we would talk about it, and we would talk about, hey, have we all go to the dog park, and we know about this dog's having problems. So other times it was case by case, and then we would recommend to the board our thoughts on how they should handle it, and then it was in their hands. And I don't see this as being a whole lot of different.
That's kind of why.
But we did have a very specific, you sign it when you got your access to the dog park. These are the rules, this is what you're gonna do.
That's what I suggested, the first infraction, you guys, you can make a reasonable judgment.
Right.
If you're like, hey, it was pretty bad, like, let's make a spectacle of it, and it comes to here, then it's documented, even if it's case by case, once it gets here.
Yeah.
It just becomes public knowledge that this has happened as opposed to you guys handling it if it's.
Yeah, so that was really what we did. It was making sure that it was documented so that when it was a serious problem, you could say, here's what happened.
Yeah, and then at this point, once it gets here, it could be, we decide that we want them to, every year they have to have training on this, whatever we decide at the moment. Or if we're like, this is just egregious, recommend to terminate it, we still can at that point, and it could happen after the first. Or at a minimum, we talk about it in a second.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a bad idea to set the expectations, right, which I think we already do in the contract, that there is a code of conduct and all that, but I don't think that there should be an expectation of process or anything. There's gonna be some times where you come in, sometimes it's one strike and you're out.
No, that's
Sometimes
great.
it's 20 strikes.
Yeah.
And we very much meant that with the dog park, like, if your dog bit somebody, got it, like, that's it, there's
Yeah.
no discussion, you're done. So it's a very similar thing, but we did have it listed as, you know,
Like, it's like a process at
Yes.
least for us to follow, because we give a code of conduct, I want the partners to understand. This is holding you, we're holding you, yeah.
I do think, and I know we don't necessarily have the insight, but if our partner programs or clubs are not interacting you and your team and the entire team at town hall in a respectful this is like we need to speak to the owner. We don't have insight into that, which we don't need to, but I would trust your judgment on.
Well, when these contracts are being approved,
Okay.
you all will get a list that will not be like shared publicly.
Yeah.
Say like their average numbers, if they stuck incident payment on time, and then if they were like in good standing.
Yeah,
with respect.
basically I'll be accountable.
Like, I think you guys, it's almost like a checklist for you guys of, yes, they lived up to what they said, that the scope of the work that they're delivering to the community. They conducted themselves appropriately as defined by the code of conduct, therefore it would be an easy pass through. Again, they pick the numbers, or we're seeing that there's a need in the community. It's an easy pass through, so those are like our easy ones to review, our approaching delinquency, our
And
this isn't
talk
working,
about
these aren't, this just isn't working, and we need to put the game.
And we're just applying this to our ground, so to speak.
But I hear you, I'm not formalizing exactly the scripted manner and this everybody wants to.
No, you're right. It was just a thought.
No, I.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I think if everyone, bring them in. If we think it's worth bringing them in to do it, escalate it, you need to escalate it, but I would say like, here's the.
We have a meeting that it's required that all partner programs come to.
Well, that's what I had suggested.
Yeah.
You need to, you need to read this code of conduct. You need to adhere to it, and if it's not, then you're gonna have a chat.
There will be.
Make them sign, make them initial it.
So what we can do is,
I think they are.
some programs like skip their contract, they don't show because they're busy, but we'll tell them, hey, December, you have to be, or it's November, December, you have to be here this day, this time.
We can talk after November,
Yeah,
and we'll dedicate it.
they have to be here in person, so when it's approved at the very end of that meeting, let them know.
Yes.
You need to go by everything, and basically, if you don't, you're gonna be revisiting us for, this might happen. At least they're giving a warning, like publicly.
Yes.
Yeah, so something that goes out that says, hey, you have to come to us in October and or November to understand what your accountability responsibilities are.
Which you signed off, which you've already.
Which you signed off on.
You signed off.
Now,
And then I say, yeah, you signed off on it.
I just signed mine. I know,
I read mine, and then I had questions.
I'm just. I get other people what you should do. Some people just. And we're all human, and some people will say something that is not appropriate.
But we also have to refer to saying something that's inappropriate.
Or posting it before I file the form.
It's fire, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's why if you
no,
if we outline it with the restrictions and I talked about, even if the second offense, we can talk about it and decide.
Yeah.
It was, okay, it was a weird thing, it was a fluke, let's move on, and they have warning.
Right.
You can
But it's
continually,
documented.
right, you can continually come back and, weird scenario, repeated infractions, we determine are fine. We talk about it, here's our monthly 5 minutes, they did this again. Okay, it's no big deal, or one time, it's a really big deal, we move on, it guides it out that there is a process if something goes wrong, but you can still play it as strict or as lenient as you want.
Yeah.
Anywhere in there.
It's to the thing of the history of the department program.
Right, and that's
One thing, it was a coach, you really still have had, and something, another thing is the owner of the department program, the department program person being rude and nasty and bad.
Yes.
Before them. So I think it gives
And
you more
it looks like it's part of
flexibility.
that discretion as well, they can take whatever we recommend, but
Yeah.
we're just advising, they can decide. To do something.
Which is exactly how it was on the dog park.
Yep.
We would advise them, we would say, okay, this dog has always been great, or the other dog was, a little aggressive, and here's our choice. So you just take that one with you.
First. Well, that's. As management, we would review it first, and that's if it gets over the holes, we'll break it. Whether it's the first or not,
But I think the best to do is say that we are going to incorporate. Like, essentially, not just communication, but adherence to the code of conduct and the way we can partner programs conduct themselves on an as an, so they follow scientists. This is now us just keeping them accountable as part of the group, so it's just part of the new process. We can call it disciplinary, but it really is just an ongoing review or ensuring that they're.
Review of conduct rather than disciplinary.
Yeah, it's something for conduct. So I was.
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody
Anybody?
can accept people. What board meeting and a town, a board member or a management member, you can accept them.
No, so that's not
That's one job.
Tell me on.
I asked to bring it to our.
Yeah.
So we can decide that the big relationships and that grow because. Well, I think we're talking the same thing and we people agree with that.
And I think that at that point, it's beyond our whatever we recommend to someone's yelling.
If someone's in a power meeting and they're flat on aggressive and it's.
I think what happens with the Chrome meeting and the committees should be a separate thing from what we're discussing right here. Because there have been in the past incidences between committee members that action should have been taken. It was decided not to. And there, wisdom. Never happened again, but that should be separate from what we're discussing. This is with the partner programs and the clubs.
Not the volunteers that are on the committee.
Yeah,
That's
right.
would be correct, but the disciplinary action has to be, the guy that has to be honest.
Oh, these, so we can't default, us as a committee cannot say that. So do we formally have to recommend something be terminated or we have to formally, or Nikki's able to, you and your team can sub, in my opinion, if something's happening, you don't have to necessarily bring it to us, you would make us aware. But if something's happening to you and your team or anyone at management, so they bring it or to exec directly to the board, we're like that next to be informed, in my opinion. And I would say at that point, the board is within their scope of doing whatever.
I feel like if there's anything that planners bypassing from ramifications,
That's what I'm.
informing us about legal ramifications, it's no. Like do what you need.
Yeah.
If it's not of a legal nature, I feel like we kind of talk about it.
If it's egregious.
Do whatever you need to do. That's fine.
But again, I think we should, this committee should deal with the things that the committee deals with, not other committees.
Yep.
Or that is something for the board to deal with.
Right, I think we're talking about like just partner program has gone so far that.
Partners,
Yeah,
well, that would be a deal. That we have to take responsibility for and say, hey, that's not cool. Can't do that. Talk about this, or if it comes back, we'll have to deal with it then.
I propose that management make us aware by email that they're sending something that has broken, it has, let's say, against the code of conduct and what's assigned, or it went outside scope of the contract scope of work that we have. We're making you aware that this is going on the next board agenda or workshop. Would that be?
Egregious violation.
There you go.
Let's call it an egregious violation.
Yeah.
Because literally, you can define that or you want.
But if it's just hearing the recommendation.
Yes.
Or on approving things, we shouldn't be the ones to determine if someone was bad, good.
Yeah.
That's what management is for. They're attacking you, or if they're doing something against management,
That we would have to speak to the board for that.
then they go, you will go right to the board, but let us know, hey, this is going on. When it comes time to renew their contract, we'll know what happened.
Or if anything did happen, maybe just add it to the agenda then.
Yeah.
Coming month.
Yeah, so we get an email
And then
Yeah,
add it to the board, talk about it. Okay, so would anybody like to, give it a shot? How we're
We
gonna
can
work
have
this
the
one?
power to pause, suspend, or any program provided for being not following the.
Well, that one I think would be discussed depending on
the severity.
severity of
Yeah.
what's going on.
Just not our committee, just the management company, like Nikki is the director of the park, right? Does she have the rights, or she can just pause or suspend?
That
Or should we recommend you to do that?
If it's something that avoids it's like a liability concern, yes, I can move that person, so there's no further like issues.
So there's no further exposure and liability.
Exposure, correct,
And
yes.
we need something from us, like to.
You can put that in. Okay,
What if you
I'm
phrased
not
it,
quite sure how to word all this.
what if you phrased it as first offense, management's discretion, whether it's a verbal warning or goes to a committee. If the second one goes to a committee to talk about, if it's egregious offense, management goes to. And you can define an egregious offense of whatever you like. If you think it's a really big deal, just bypass us and inform us.
I would phrase it, I mean, I would just go with, everybody's expected to adhere to the code of conduct as well as any other rules promulgated by the recreation committee from time to time. And any violation of such is subject to any action which the department, the grant vendors or whoever the crow will take in their discretion up into and including termination as well as seeking additional legal damages.
Okay, so
That's how I would normally say it. I would just say, we're gonna do whatever we want.
So say it all over again, so we are-
With that, yeah, I would just say that everybody's expected to adhere to the code of conduct as well as any other rules which we may promulgate from time to time.
Okay,
And then any violation shall be, I guess, any violation shall be subject to discipline as determined by the committee from time to time at discretion.
right now.
Including termination.
To the discretion of management.
Yes.
Not us. They're just.
Yeah, it should be at the management level.
The only reason that's there to us is if it's not worth terminating them. It just sits a light documentation. That's what they call it.
right, of course, yeah.
If you're coming to us for a big thing, it's already been passed. Other than just putting it be like an official finger wagging at a.
It creates a history and a documentation.
Yeah, but I mean, if anyone's coming here, it's pretty much just a formal, you have to sit here and
Because
talk about that stuff.
Right. Something happens tomorrow, you gotta wait a whole month till we come back for our meeting. You should be able to act.
Yes, yeah.
That's management.
Yeah, because we might have.
Give them
to
power to
or
decide.
Then on send to
And then it has to
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
the board, she's making decisions.
Yeah, I'm really excited to join this
You
one,
want
right?
power to the director, so she can decide.
He's like,
Isn't this fun? I'm fascinated.
Are you really?
I am, this is really, this is great. This is-
March 2027, we want to see your name to be our volunteer here.
Really, I guess, who is doling on the discipline now?
Management.
that is the board.
Management recommendation.
But give the power to, like, they're going to suspend till the next. Like that.
Well, that,
You can-
Okay, let us read all.
How often does anything like this occur?
Make decisions.
So, just for perspective, from the dog park, it didn't happen, it happened occasionally, right? It didn't happen all the time. What's it like? Every month. Sometimes it's because dogs are dogs and people are just kind of like, with it. When it was a big enough deal, if there was a pattern, it was come to us.
Okay,
So it's not like this is like, we're gonna have to dedicate 20 minutes to the meeting agenda and talk about how we agree.
Yoga went 5 minutes over.
Yeah, I think the dog thing is just different because it's like, that's a set pattern of things that are consistent. Again, it's a very different situation if we're terminating Mark, God bless you, versus if we're terminating this person who just showed up a second ago and runs the thing for 6 people, like this.
But it gives you an I, like,
Yeah.
a guide of what.
Cause, yeah,
okay, I'm gonna read this, and I want someone to second it or not. It's expected that all partner programs adhere to the code of conduct as well as any other rules promulgated by the Parks and Rec. From time to time. Any violation shall be subject to discipline and management and or board in its discretion, including but not limited to termination. Wait, your Albert motion. Second,
I'll sec- yeah.
You say and. That's.
no,
well, I guess we can't make that point before.
It's technical, well, I'm just saying, if you say and.
I mean, I think you should, I
I
guess,
think it's fine.
I think and or is fine.
Just put all decisions are. You know,
Review by
finalized by the board.
Yeah, all decisions are finalized, frankly.
I mean, if we wanna be just like,
I'll motion second. I don't know where we're at. I'll do it.
Basically what you said earlier, management, review of management, if it's severe, it goes to the committee. And then it's really bad forward.
So, where it was.
Yeah.
okay, we're good.
And it's just.
With legal
I
speak.
can't see, yeah.
I'll motion or second. I don't know which one you're in.
You can say, I
All right.
Celia Tucker first.
I vote.
Now, all in favor, me.
Aye.
We're good. You want me to keep this for the notes? Okay. Alright, the last thing on our agenda, do you thanks for waiting this long.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Secretions before.
So scope of work, B has brought up some points. I know other programs have brought up some points. So as far as like our scope of work with a partner program,
Do we have a handout on what it is, just so we can,
I'm gonna pull it up on the,
you didn't print it that right?
no, I did not print this.
I cannot see that far.
I will give you a copy of this, Jill.
Are you gonna eat, oh, good lord.
Hey, can you email this to us? Yeah, I can email it.
Yes, please.
So the scope of work, we tried to make it like generic. And it helps with a lot of things, but it also made some gray areas with certain things.
It's this far. No, it doesn't matter, just, you know, my butt.
So basically, we rewritten this scope of work and revised it. So basically, certain areas of the scope of work, we're gonna tailor them to each program. Needs to be a little bit more detailed. So I know sometimes it says use of black lanes, tennis court, indoor spaces, green field, et cetera. Oh, that specific line item.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yes, it's very back of it. It's exposed.
You can read going back.
Okay. Never saw this.
It'll be detailed to the specific location.
Here, I'll just read.
Okay, so the first thing is it's gonna be tailored to each program. It needs a little bit more detail, like I know certain areas in these contracts. Talk about like lifeguards, like CPR training, like an athletic trainer, and some programs are like, we don't need that. So. It's gonna be tailored when you see the new like scope of work or new contracts. It's going to be similar, but just different verbiage, if that makes sense.
To be tailored to.
Tailored to each one. Like the deposits obviously are gonna stay here, because just in case someone breaks a TV or whatnot, lifeguard equipment, at least we have a deposit.
Was everybody's deposit the same?
The yearly deposits free. Basically, the contractor is responsible for all aspects of the program, including but not limited to. This would also be tailored, because I know it says like competitive activities, if you're not, like, if you're in the performing arts, maybe that's not what you are, private lessons, family events, some people don't do all of those. So it's going to be tailored to that specific program, because Ryan does one-on-one training, he doesn't do family events, you know what I mean? But we made it large enough that programs can offer these. But so I don't know, well, I guess we'll kind of get there. I'll talk to each program to see if they want me to add or keep that verbiage versus changing it. Because I want to give programs an opportunity to grow. So I'm afraid if I make it too extreme of it's just personal training and group lessons, they're not able to do maybe these community events like Alexis was talking about. I highlighted this one because storage, we're actually going to be removed. We don't have storage. We can't accommodate the storage needs. So that is going to be removed, the scope of work. As you can see, town hall, there's no more closets in here, so we do not have storage. And what we've been reviewing internally is CROA, we as CROA as well as the community are paying for 2 storage units on property. And to store our own things because we're storing partner programs equipment. Now, well, we'll probably still own a storage unit, let's be real, but it can help like reduce the rates or maybe use that money elsewhere, you know.
That makes sense though, to, if it's like liability wise and what the.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, people say like, I took something.
Something, it just, and if you have, I think it's, your no, have a program, your part unit, you build, you have bins, you have whatever is needed.
You should be responsible for your own things.
Yes.
Yep. Now, some programs, like I said.
When does that have to go in place? When does the no more storage go in place?
This will have to be in 2027. So certain programs, yeah, so certain programs will be tailored to, like I said, because like the swim team, for example, they have kickboards, they have all this equipment. They're not gonna be storing dive blocks, stuff in their trunk. You know what I mean? So like soccer, like I know, like
So maybe
sometimes you get one unit. So I think, like I said, it's gonna be case by case, but not all of the programs will have, like, I guess, access to storage because it's more of the outdoor programs that plug in all this stuff on a daily basis, but it's gonna be reviewed by the committee, so you're all aware of it forward.
Would there be a possibility, I think it was tennis, was it last year?
So
Tennis, would they find somewhere that they can put up their own storage shed?
So
Or we provide it and they pay rental?
So
for it?
what tennis does right now is they have a trailer at Lakeside Park. It's not the best solution, but we're just trying to figure out something right now. Cause I know anywhere else in town you have a trailer, it's no go, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out a temporary sport. That's a temporary solution. Cause I know we brought it to bring like, you know, like a little pad down and they would have their own like shelving unit by the tennis courts, but residents came in saying, well, I can't do that. How is a partner program that's a contractor gets to do that? So that's why right now temporarily he has a trailer and if there's any issues, he can drag those in and out.
Cause that could be this, like.
Do we own it?
Correct. What's up?
Do we own like the nets at the soccer field, the lane roads?
Yes.
We own that.
We own those. Yeah.
But do we own the tennis stuff? Like the.
No, this is like his tennis racks, like the
Yeah.
balls for tennis and he has a trailer because it's for everybody, but not all of his instructors are like under his liability to drive that trailer. You know what I mean? So they just have the padlock just to get in and out to get their stuff. So.
Yeah, I don't mind the trailer, but I get what. It's more, I think it's more,
have a trailer anywhere else.
it's more, yeah, I don't, but I'm just saying, I think it's more, I understand it's more defensible if it's our lane ropes or our soccer
Of
thing
course,
to be
yeah.
like, we put it where we want it versus
Yeah.
it's harder for us. to
Well,
make
that's
the
why
choice.
it's like a cement pad. This one, like, like a description, a shed, a rubber shed, something you purchase,
Yeah.
set up on that site, that facility, and then another one for swimming, tennis, other things.
Who's responsible for maintaining that shit? So,
If you partner program.
Yeah, and that would probably have to be included with our scope of work, like
Right.
going forward, like if you use our indoor locations, like again, this for outdoor programs. Or the larger programs,
Sorry, people should bring their stuff.
well, the indoor, we just don't have space. But you're responsible, as you said, for your belongings, and sometimes we find rats, and it's like, why are we getting rats? It's because, oh, they left food in there. in one of our storage units, or, oh, they forgot to clean their jerseys, or their sneakers in there, or like, oh, they just had ribbons and crap. So it's just like, if they use our facilities, they're responsible for cleaning them. And it'll be like inspected in there.
I was gonna say, and there's gotta be inspection.
You're renting the facility, so I would think that your job is taking this food
And the condition we got.
found out, so then, because it's not like it's just a private facility dedicated to any programs.
That's like an apartment, not everybody maintains their apartment well.
And then, like I was talking about here, the certifications, like athletic or artistic programs, the lifeguard, safe sports certification, CPR, et cetera. Obviously, that's together each group where we need specific certifications. I highlighted this one because this is like the background checks. So as of right now, it's just level 2 for kids. But we were told that they want to include level 2 background kids for both children as well as for seniors. Or you do it for everyone.
Now,
I know, so that's what we have to talk about it.
So I've seen this. It's like at the Boston, it's become things, when you go to volunteer in any assisted living or anyone qualified for assisted living. Because they can be coerced, there'd be ulterior motives, and so I know that it's just a shift in mindset from, oh, you think like it's called Corey, and it's Corey, oh, that's just kids, no, and then now it's
How much is a level 2 background?
Like I was mentioning, it could be like some people 100, some people pay 250, like it's a lot, so that's why I was talking about logistics earlier.
So,
And we're trying to see with our like insurance company, if we cover them on our logistics background, and all they would do is submit their first and last name, and we would run a background check, and it would just give us like a green light if they're good. If not, it gives them the results of what's on their background check.
But you also said that incurs a cost at some, right?
It's $30 per background check, but I would have the programs, it would be like a cheaper option. You know what I mean, unless they have like their own,
you're just really like X number per year. So,
yeah.
okay.
And if you were to get background check outside with this, it could be anywhere but $150, $200.
Yeah, but-
It could be more at this point.
They're reimbursing us for the full cost, right? Is that what you're-
It'd be 30, yeah, so we would.
So it will be, the partner program or whatever will be charged $30 per
Per back, yeah. Now,
I mean,
background
That's
checks.
very inexpensive.
I was gonna
It's
say,
very expensive, so I would like, if we can't have talk, because I know we've discussed. So if you want to
Tell us a little bit about lifelong learning, and what it is that you do. You're in a public space where you're never one-on-one with a vulnerable speaker. We have people they're in their 60s, and we have a few people in their 80s, okay, really. We never drive them, we go to their homes. We are here in the building, but I absolutely understand why working staff should do it. But we, if I have to get all one day, right now, we're just having me and my staff. There are 4 of us, we're gonna undergo a background check for the fall, once we figure out how to do the background check. But beyond that, if I have to have every instructor, and our instructors are volunteer faculty, they're your neighbors that we have recruited to be volunteer faculty who want to teach a class on historic automobiles or teach a class on finger knitting pumpkins. They are not alone with, and I don't know what a vulnerable adult, I mean, I said 60-year-olds, 70s, a few
Florida, I
80s.
looked up, Florida law specifically states that level 2 screening is required for caregivers or employees who provide direct services. Nothing what she does is a direct service. So unless the insurance company requires it, I don't, not.
$30.
Is more about children. To volunteer in any of the schools, you fill out the form, put your social security number in, and boom, you're approved. I don't understand how we're asking volunteers to go.
Say a volunteer is not a child molester.
No, I'm talking about,
That person is not, even in a group
I'm
setting.
saying, like, to go on the school district's Oasis volunteer approval site. You plug in all your information, your social security number, and in 2 minutes, are you guys on Oasis approved?
Yes, and I can't remember that.
The candidate means,
As of August 3rd, you have to redo.
what I brought up specifically is for elderly care. So if they don't have anyone under the age of 18, that wouldn't constitute a minor. Other than insurance requiring it, I don't see a point in requiring them to have it, given their situation.
And I would think that your insurance.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
General liability insurance is going to include any kind of, molestation, or, I mean, yes, not that there would be that, but we're talking of those.
That would be your insurance, should.
Yes, with vulnerable population, if that's what we need, we're adding that into our insurance rider.
Nikki, where does this come from? Like, who's saying that they have to be the mandatory, when we say we're doing, it's like, who, is this coming from council, or is this coming from our insurance company?
I think it's making the assumption that all of our programs are. It's trying to cover all of our.
Who's telling us to do this? The insurance
So
company or?
this
Yeah.
level two, this has been here for like decades.
Yes,
with
yeah,
previous
we are-
programs.
we are-
Or is it the elderly part of it, that's not, that's.
We are adult only,
Yeah,
We are looking for soccer since 2006.
adults of all ages, we call them. Right, but it's adult.
So it's been just used, but there's been more cases. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's not, but there's been more cases on seniors. So I think this is more of a like, hey, just so like. I think it's a cover our bases, yeah.
And with growing elderly.
What is supposed to, all department programs sent to you, the Parks and Rec, their names, social security numbers, and Parks and Rec is responsible for to taking the background check.
Well, that's what Lauren's trying to work with the attorneys, because if there's something missed, she wants to make sure that's not gonna follow.
Yeah, $30 is on labor to get.
I know what I used to pay. So $30 a volunteer, and if we knew how many volunteers we have in the community, not, so we have 60. We have.
I was gonna say, after
60.
the instructors do that.
And I charge bottom prices for residents, for people to be able to participate. It's like, we're only charging them $25 class, a course, which is a 3-week course, $25. So that's, but it's a
That's
one,
a thing
it's a
on
one,
top of that.
it's not, it's a one time. It's not that you're doing that every single, you're not.
No, so it's gonna be one background check, and then it'd be like refreshed within 5 years.
Within 5, so obviously, we just have to, it'll be an outlay of $1,800, and I'm just using my number, 60.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, yay, I wanna do this, but I know that it's better than $100 a person. I mean, I know what I used to. We wanted to do diligence.
I know.
We wanna be good partners, but it's just being super extreme.
Are we requiring for football and yoga too?
So yes, the programs they're all for 2027. That's what we're
Because
looking at.
for the football situation, just as another one, that it's technically all adults, or that's how they're marketing, it's all adults. If we're worried about the senior, stop someone who's incredibly in shape at 70.
Well, that's something that we have discussed. Those were the two, like, target audience was youth as well as seniors. Do we just say it's for every age level? You know what I mean?
It's because.
And which level are you a senior?
Based on the law, you're saying providing services or caregiving. I mean, specifically,
Right, but
not
that-
a volunteer or a partner program, we're providing a service or caregiving. If they're also carrying their own insurance, if it's not required by law, I'm just having a hard time seeing how that could come back on us, because they have their own insurance, they're doing it, they're just borrowing our space.
And their insurance is covered for
Yes,
this.
you want this by council?
The background check is
I
very,
think
very
it's
important.
good that we just want it by council.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
It's disabled, ADA,
Yes.
and others.
Okay,
That's
everyone,
very important.
before we finalize anything, Nikki's gonna run it by council to see perhaps if Florida State, or if they have the insurance, if that's good enough.
And then I think scoping and then show them, like it.
You have the possibility of someone being under 18 attending, you have to have it, questions asked. listening to say you have to be 18 or older, not providing caregiving services pending the council being the hearing, but I don't see it. For the situation of the football, just as again, the example, they have 6 to 8 teams. Does the team have a coach? Who's in charge of the team? Do they fall under being a part of the partner program, or is it just the one person who's organizing? Where does that differentiating line happen?
At least for the partner group, right, the person was in charge of that.
They have to, no matter what, yeah, they have to charge it. Like.
I don't know all the codes and everything, but the partner group was concerned.
Which,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong.
I think we should table this until next meeting and so Nick gets a chance to confer with council.
Yeah, I think the council, I think we're all on the same page, right? I think if you're a coach of children, it's
If there's
safe
any
to say.
kids involved.
And then if it's not a coach of children, we would like to do the least amount possible that is required by the law.
The council, as you know.
Yeah, so I think it's, but we wanna, that's the direction we wanna go, is we wanna do. With kids, we wanna do level 2, anything above kids, we wanna do little responsible.
Children.
Or you just say.
That's, that's
Or
not-
what person, the head person has to, but the rest of it, it doesn't seem like this is a scenario where.
This is not, I mean, price wise, this is. It's not. Used to be 150, 200, and now it's not years. Yeah, but you can't volunteer. All right,
But it does put an undue hardship on.
still sending people down to the sheriff's office or yes door.
Or even if we do it again, if we want to say, yes, we want to have it with a person that is the point of contact for the organization, like one
Or
person.
whatever the officers
Right,
for
right.
the organization are, that would make more sense. Because then their insurance will cover the liability for it.
What we can also do is bring the background check to here, to our know-how. And invite all the partners to do the background check. I have the company can do that, bring them, everybody needs to have at least 50 people. Doing the background check level 2.
The other thing that for most, if you don't get to, you need to know the criminals. If they, many people already have low lead trade or you have your TSA pre-check and you bring that and that's your form for most accepted, criminal backgrounds.
We did lots of folks. All the.
I can stop.
All right, so we're gonna table this, we'll table our discussion. Do what you got, motion,
I'll make a motion to table the,
I'll second it.
okay, all in favor?
I have one. Can we, in the future, look at the delineation of saying, because I know the baby autism program, the other one, it was, well, this service isn't provided, and this one, the RC fit, if someone comes to us and says, I'm not comfortable with there only being a man available, can we look at some type of guideline that states
Yeah.
what we
Yes.
allow, but it's not, just to get it, in writing?
Yes,
And if we have anyone else who has applied, right, and become a trainer here, like those are the things, just as we're
Well, yeah.
going to year end, that would be helpful.
totally agree. And
If
like
I have, if I have those options.
the honor situation. Definitely.
Just to know.
There's nothing that's, nobody has enough monopoly.
Great, that's what we're saying, like, if Ryan had both options and he's the chosen partner program, okay, there's an option, we're good, I just don't wanna get into that gray area of. I want this, and I'm arguing that it's not provided, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't, just to have something stating.
Or you also don't want to force people in their.
Right.
Yes,
Or just have something in writing, like, this is why it is, or this is why it's not.
Yeah, I think that's a problem. Because I think there's people on baby audits who are saying, I paid for this pool, if I'm just having one instructor instruct my kid here that I chose, why is that not one, right? And I think in that case, I responded, I was like, it was kind of, I don't know what happened, but it wasn't. But it is a question of like, why is it not allowed? You know, if you have someone in there trying to do one-on-one instruction, you know, if you have someone who's a pitching coach on one of the fields and you want to use the pitching coach, technically not allowed, right? But should it be?
But how to get changed from the gyms then, when I could get my training, you could get your trainer, they're all.
Yeah, you could, right? That's the question.
If they're a celebration, then they can pick at the same time.
Exactly.
You could argue that. if-
But they couldn't train you, they couldn't train you for
My
commercial
friend's a
purposes.
personal trainer,
That would be
training, we're just friends working out, so we can
Exactly.
hash that out.
Just like,
I just want something in writing, like,
just like.
gives us.
No, I think that's something.
Is there anything in the hardware thing that says that they're like seat exclusive or, I mean, I'm used to trying something like networking, but like. Anything that says that they are the only ones that can ever, like, for that year.
There are specific programs that their scope of work said, like, they're the only ones who are allowed to do this on property. Like, for example, like Marco's like the only one who is allowed to do soccer on property, but if there's a travel team that's playing at Disney. And they just want to use our field as practice before their tournament, that's okay, you know what I mean? But if it's a reoccurring thing, they can't be on property as a director.
I think we're having a conversation about where we see this evolving to versus if this is how it's always been done.
Yep.
I think we need to think about, because it is evolving, right? Things are gonna, and celebration's gonna be bigger around.
Yeah.
Well,
If
look
there's a
at the fitness people, right? Like,
Yeah.
where does scope, whatever thing that was, cross over between actual yoga and Pilates
Yeah.
and something? Like, where are those lines? And at which point do you say, well, you can do this, you can't?
Or, and there's now a demand because 20 people are showing up to both yoga and body sculpt. And then, well, maybe there's a third, maybe we find a third person who actually, like, if there is a demand, we should be community.
Right. And I mean, I wouldn't mind if people actually like follow the rules, so that at the point of everyone like submitted their trainer through there.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, nobody is doing that as of right now. They're not reaching out saying, yeah, I have a trainer. They're just showing up. And our team is the one saying, hey, you can't be here. You know,
Honestly, I think I would have no, and if I weren't on these things, I would have no idea that I could like have a trainer come and.
Of course not.
Because nobody knows, like, it's not something anybody knows.
Yeah.
It's like,
So-
you pay them is the problem, you can have your friend use the personal trainer.
But I have no idea as a resident. that I
No,
would
right.
do that,
For
Because
sure.
there's no way that they're educating the community on that as well.
For sure.
And I mean, you can educate them all day long, but.
Yeah, but if there's access to something or
There's
they're
always
more
going, not gonna fight, then just, I work.
I think it's really cool. One I in the village, you know, they have those two small rooms.
Yes.
One room, you take all that equipment out and do from there, train and stuff. My door is locked unless you want.
Yeah.
I call and say, I have a trainer with yes, we want to do classes. And then that way, the trainer is literally in that room. You have the equipment that you need to use, and they're not in the way of other guys.
Mark, we spend a bunch of money to build a room just for that.
Because like the focus of it, I mean, there's already-
I'm just saying, it's like,
Yeah, it's great.
that's why with the others, I said, have a village only.
Right.
I have another owner or committee member
Yeah.
coming, I guess, and I will table this already in advance. It's totally not- But I would think, does anybody have the appetite for putting up signs about scooters on all of the pro amenities? Because I feel like you could put a sign up, I don't know where the great ceilings are, but you could put a sign up saying only, or not scooters, or I guess we'll call them electronic motorcycles, saying only level 1 or level 2 bicycles permitted here, anything else is not permitted on this ground, especially unless it is regulated, insured, tagged. So I think that's the
Who's
biggest
gonna
thing.
enforce that?
No one, but I feel like if you put on there and you have a sign that says only level 1 and level 2 bikes allowed, and then below it you say, any unregistered electronic motorcycles will be held responsible, including the owner or parent of anybody there, just to put awareness around here that's saying, hey, you know, if it goes over, because the schools unfortunately are not doing much about it, but like there's an electronic bike and then there's an electronic motorcycle that should be driven by someone with a license and should be tagged. And I think we got a lot of those going on around here, and I don't know if people have the appetite for putting those around rural property, you could at least create some sort of like awareness campaign.
Love to say, hell yeah. But until that law is passed in Osceola County, I do not feel we have the right
Other than liability for falling on us.
Oh, what about the kids who run over people on the bike paths?
Like, other than
The bike paths
liability
are
falling on us,
falling
it's the post.
The bike paths are not ours, but I don't think, like, if you say, hey, these are going with permitted, and then any unlicensed ones are held in them, and then you say to the fullest extent to the law, we will hold you liable for any consequences. I think that's fine, because I mean, there's already laws on the books, right? If it's over a certain, you know, I guess what's the word, if it goes over a certain speed limit, right, it needs to be tagged, it needs to be registered, it needs to be driven by someone with a license, right? And I don't think that you just put up signs and say, to the extent you're not in compliance with this, we're gonna hold you responsible. It's just like an awareness, issue. It's not
rules of them riding bikes, we need to write up.
It does not do any good other than telling people on notice saying like, this is not allowed. I mean, like, what you're doing. That's the thing, that's the question, is it worth it to just?
Okay, so we table this.
Think about it for next.
Just like the lake, so
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we'll take that. So I have one question.
Think about it. That's what I mean.
Like the.
Yeah, I don't know, it's- yes, right, it's okay.
It might be fine. Posted now, it's no longer allowed.
Were we supposed to turn these on?
It's just this.